is the chair for the Africa Healthcare Federation and joins us now live from Nairobi. Welcome to the program. As someone speaking to us from a continent where less than 10% of Africans are vaccinated, what do you make of these clinical trials for an Omicron-specific vaccine?
Thank you for that question, and great to be on the show. Actually, Africa welcomes any scientific development. I strongly suggest all multinationals, corporates, organizations in health and science to continue testing these trials, because Omicron is not the last variant and SARS-CoV-2 is not the last microbe. In the coming years, we are going to face challenging times to deal with multiple microbes to avoid pandemics like these affecting lives and livelihoods. So the first statement I would like to make, this is a brilliant welcome. And I think it's about time that all companies in health and science wake up and scale up the clinical trials work to have affordable and accessible vaccines available all over the world. Like you mentioned, Africa should also not be left behind, and we should not create a double world scenario of inequity of those who are vaccinated and those who are not. So I have two messages. One is it's a welcome. I fully encourage Pfizer and BioNTech, but I also encourage that access and affordability should be the underlying principle as we advance in medicine.
And tell us, how has Omicron affected Africa and Kenya, where you are?
Look, Omicron was literally given to the world as a discovery from South Africa, and kudos to the scientists there. Without them, we would be many, many months away before it was picked up. How is it affected? People in Africa and in South Africa and Kenya are making very clear that masks, social distancing, hand hygiene are important. It's so clear that countries that are now dropping their guard are becoming part of the problem and not part of the solution. They will be the ones who will now make the health systems weaker. We in Africa believe that clean hygiene practices that we have scaled up are helping us to see less of other diarrheal diseases, communicable diseases, and we are seeing a shift, and it's a welcome shift. So we are totally prepared about making sure that we continue the non-pharmaceutical interventions in dealing with Omicron. So our health systems, on the other hand, are not stretched. And we're lucky so far it's not hitting us as hard as Delta did.
And when you hear that some Western countries are dropping coronavirus restrictions, and as you say correctly, Omicron is not the last variant, what goes through your mind? Because they are, some of these countries, 70% vaccinated. We could say, afford to do so.
I think they are displaying leadership exhaustion, and they are actually bending to maybe the public pressure. It's totally non-scientific advisory. I think they have weak leadership in terms of understanding what they can afford. And what shocks me the most is countries with higher GDP are becoming extremely more lazy in dropping the guard down. They will probably add to the variation trails or the variant trails that we might see in the future.
That's a very good point.
Totally
and they could regret it. They could regret this, do you think, Amit?
Not they. The world will regret it. Their leadership action is going to have more global deaths than we can. I think it's pretty shameful and probably poorly advised.
Great to speak to you. I could speak on this subject for a long time with you. Always a pleasure to have you on the program, Amit Thakker.
Thank you.